Hello, this is Echelon Rethink, a short series covering how COVID 19 is changing business in Sri Lanka. Joining us today is Kumudu Gunasekera, who is Managing Director at Stax Colombo. Stax is a consultancy company with clients all over the world. For that reason, perhaps, Kumudu has a good handle on global trends shaping business. Welcome, Kumudu, to Rethink. It goes without saying, Kumudu, that COVID-19 will change the landscape, and you identified 5 ways. Can we start there?
Samindra, like you mentioned, we basically at Stax we work with 100 plus global private equity funds. So as a result, we are exposed to a multitude of industries and looking at how they are to adapt in the new normal. So what we found over the last 4 weeks, literally, is a trend towards certain aspects which were already in place. So these were trends that were already ongoing, but what has happened is these trends have now become accelerated way beyond what we thought. We thought it'll take another 10 years for these to become normal. These now have become, overnight have become permanent solutions for most companies, and we feel that these trends are going to be here to stay. One is virtualization of events, activities, and interactions. So that's something that you and I are talking on Zoom, and this is going to become the new normal. The second element is really the automation of processes and services. So what we are doing today, both at a company level, we look at how to automate some of the manual processes. We've started doing that with companies, but this is going to get accelerated. We want to remove human interface whenever possible and automate that. Third trend is the pure play and hybrid online marketplaces, a shift away from brick and mortar. When it comes to retail or supermarkets, we saw that it was changing with Amazon kind of really taking over in the US, but we never expected that element to become a global phenomenon so fast. But now all of us are getting our goods delivered home. So once this ends, this consumer buying pattern will change. So our the investments that we have made into brick and mortar will now need to be reshifted or refocused into more online marketplaces and being able to serve the customer better using third-party logistics systems. So that's another trend. The fourth trend is the diversification of the supply chain. Actually, we are seeing this. Our clients are now looking to diversify, where they used to get sourcing one material from one particular country, especially China. Now we are looking to diversify those into getting multiple vendors across geographies. Huge opportunity for Sri Lanka. The fifth element, historically, when you look at the most important thing for a company is looking at their supply chain. Optimizing the supply chain has been the most important thing. What we feel is that the future consumer is going to be more demanding because of all the virtualization of customers. So customer intimacy and centricity is going to be key. So how developing products around improving customer intimacy, knowing your customer really well and really hyper customizing your product to the customer is going to be a requirement. Mass production of goods. So that is going to be the fifth thing that companies really need to focus on: customer intimacy or customer centricity. So those 5 elements, Shamindra, is what I feel, or what Stax we feel that is really going to take root, and our companies should hopefully benefit from it.
After the lockdown ends, we are looking at an extended recovery phase. Are SMEs in Sri Lanka ready, you think, to take advantage of these 5 trends you highlighted?
Unfortunately, the smaller companies, the SME sectors, may not have the bandwidth to remain relevant for such a long period. So to 6 to 8 months, they may not be able to, from a cash flow perspective, they may not be able to be relevant. And second, from an information and an insights perspective, they may not understand and be prepared to make advantage of the five kind of trends that are emerging. So it's important from both an information perspective and a cash flow perspective, these SMEs be relevant.
So it's a dual challenge for SMEs. They have to survive and also position themselves to take advantage of these accelerating trends at the same time, right?
Absolutely. So it's two things, right? Surviving and positioning yourself, upskilling yourself and enabling yourself to be ready for the update. So you can't just survive just doing the same old thing. While you're surviving, you have to kind of do the internal people, process, technology elements that are required to be relevant to be able to make use.
The next great companies, the ones that will be impactful in 5 years, could be SMEs that transform to leverage these 5 trends during the COVID-19 crisis. Thank you, Kumudu, for sharing those insights and for joining Echelon Rethink. Echelon Rethink, powered by ACCA Sri Lanka. Is your organization an ACCA approved employer? Apply now and make it easy to recruit the best finance professionals in the country.